welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and today we are again sharing another beacon of hope. We're progressing through the 10 Commandments, and we're on Commandment number 9 of that law of love. And this commandment is found in Exodus 20, verse 16, where it says, "Thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor." How important is that? Bearing false witness against your neighbor is a sin. Well, a young woman lay on a Florida beach soaking up the warm rays of the sun, when a little boy wearing swimming trunks and carrying a towel came up to her. "Do you believe in God?" he asked. The woman, surprised by the question, replied, "Why, yes I do, young lad." The little boy pressed with the second question, "Do you go to church every week?" Again the woman answered, "Yes." The little boy studied her thoughtfully. "Do you read your Bible and pray every day?" As before, the woman smiled and said yes. By now, it had greatly aroused her curiosity. What was this boy asking all these questions for? Well, there was another long pause, and the boy sighed and said with obvious relief, "Will you hold my quarter while I go swimming?" Honesty. Such a rare and valuable commodity in our sinful world. It's very rare. I remember the expression, "the honest man in the town." And people sometimes look for the most honest man in town. But it's hard to find in the sin-filled world that we live in now. Somehow that little boy who had talked to the lady had learned that Christians, those that go to church, read their Bible, pray every day, are special people we can trust with something even as precious as one's only quarter. So I challenge you, honesty is part of being a good Christian. When God instructed the children of Israel to refrain from giving false testimony against their neighbors, He was basically telling them to stand out from the crowd, to rise above the rest, and become known as a people who tell the truth no matter what, to be men and women of integrity, true to the cause of God as a needle to the pole. But lying was so easy, it was so convenient. It required little work and no amount of commitment. Liars could say anything they wanted to and not have to back up their statements with their actions. But such a practice ran contrary to the high calling of God, who'd offered to lead an entire nation to the promised land. God had still another reason for shouting His commandment from the fiery heights of Sinai. His people would always have neighbors. And God knew that the truthfulness would be one of the best and most potent witnesses to those who experienced the frustration and mistrust generated by lying lips. Besides protecting themselves internally by being honest with each other, God wanted His people to arm themselves securely with a cloak of trustworthiness. It would build goodwill among those who camped along their borders. Can you hear those echoes reverberating from the 9th commandment in today's world? We need it more than ever. I'm always amazed when, even though a person is caught dead to right in the midst of actually committing a crime, yet they proclaim not guilty. Caught in the act, so to speak, that they proclaim not guilty when the judge asks them how they plead. How can they do that? How can they lie about that? Apparently they never learned honesty growing up, never learned to back up their actions with their words, or how to be a good neighbor. John Powell once said something powerful. He said, "The genius of communication is the ability to be both totally honest and totally kind at the same time." Here's what Ephesians puts it, being honest, speaking the truth in love. I like that, speaking the truth in love. And when God spoke the 9th commandment that day on Sinai, He had in mind that those who followed his wishes, those who followed his commands, those who chose to beside themselves with the truth would communicate in just such a way with everyone they met. And friends, this is still his wish today. May God bless you, and may honesty be the best policy.